Your morning routine might be slowly poisoning you. These 9 beloved breakfast chains are serving up more than pancakes and coffee. They're dishing out expired ingredients, temperature violations, and kitchen nightmares that could turn your sunny side up into a one-way ticket to food poisoning. Health inspectors logged over 1,200 violations at major breakfast chains in 2024 alone. Yet millions of Americans still trust these restaurants with their most important meal. You might want to finish reading this before you finish your coffee, because once you discover what's really happening behind those cheerful breakfast counters, your appetite might disappear faster than syrup on a stack of pancakes. Let's start with America's pancake palace, where the griddle isn't the only thing that's dirty. When you walk into IHOP expecting fresh pancakes made from scratch, you're getting a chemistry experiment instead. Those fluffy stacks that built America's pancake empire start as industrial batter, mixes loaded with sodium aluminum phosphate, calcium carbonate, and enough preservatives to keep them fresh for 3 weeks in restaurant coolers. Former kitchen staff from locations across Texas and California have confirmed that batter containers often sit open for days, developing a skin on top that workers simply stir back in. The maple syrup situation is even worse. What IHOP markets as real maple syrup is typically corn syrup enhanced with artificial maple flavoring and caramel coloring. A 2023 ingredient analysis found that IHOP's standard syrup contains less than 2% actual maple syrup, yet costs restaurants nearly the same as authentic versions. You're paying premium prices for pancake topping that's essentially liquid candy with a marketing makeover. Health inspection reports from over 40 IHOP locations in 2024 revealed a disturbing pattern during morning rush hours. Grill cleaning procedures are routinely skipped when lines stretch out the door, leading to buildup of old batter and grease that can harbor dangerous bacteria. One inspector in Phoenix documented griddles that hadn't been properly cleaned in over 18 hours of continuous service. Even the butter isn't real butter. Employee training materials leaked in 2023 showed that IHOP's butter blend contains industrial emulsifiers and artificial flavoring designed to mimic dairy taste while cutting costs by 30%. That golden spread melting on your pancakes is more science lab than dairy farm. While IHOP disappoints with artificial ingredients, our next chain takes shortcuts with even more basic breakfast staples. Denny's 24/7 promise sounds convenient until you realize what happens to food safety when the lights stay on, but supervision doesn't. Night shift employees across multiple states have reported serving scrambled eggs that sat in warming trays for over 4 hours, well beyond the 2-hour safety limit that prevents dangerous bacterial growth. When you order that grand slam at 2 in the morning, you might be getting yesterday's eggs with today's problems. The hash browns tell an even grimmer story. Former cooks from locations in Nevada and Florida revealed that frying oil often goes unchanged for 3 to 4 days during busy periods, turning what should be crispy potatoes into grease-soaked sponges that absorb rancid flavors. A 2024 Health Department analysis found that overused oil can harbor harmful compounds that cause digestive issues and worse. Denny's staffing crisis makes everything worse. With annual turnover rates hitting 75%, many locations rely on workers with less than 2 weeks of training to handle complex food safety protocols. State health inspection records from 2023 documented repeated violations across 48 Denny's locations, including improper food storage temperatures, cross-contamination between raw and cooked items, and employees failing to follow basic hand-washing procedures. One inspector in Oregon noted that during a midnight visit, the overnight crew had no manager on duty and was operating with just 2 untrained employees for the entire restaurant. That 3 a.m. breakfast might be prepared by someone who started their job yesterday and has never handled food professionally before. Denny's struggles with basic safety, but fast food breakfast chains face entirely different challenges with mass production. McDonald's takes mass production to a whole new level, turning simple breakfast foods into complex chemical formulations that would make a lab technician proud. Those scrambled eggs on your Egg McMuffin contain 18 different ingredients, including sodium acid pyrophosphate, citric acid, and monosodium phosphate, texture agents and preservatives that keep eggs looking fluffy even after sitting under heat lamps for hours. When did eggs need a chemistry degree to be breakfast? The sausage situation gets worse. McDonald's sausage patties arrive at restaurants frozen solid and pre-seasoned, with sodium nitrite, BHT preservatives, and enough sodium to exceed your daily recommended intake in just one patty. A 2024 nutritional analysis revealed that these processed meat discs contain more filler ingredients than actual pork, with corn syrup and dextrose added to mask the artificial flavors. Even the English muffins cause problems. Corporate training documents leaked in 2023 show that muffins are often stored in humid conditions that promote mold growth, leading to fuzzy green patches that workers are instructed to simply cut away before serving. Multiple locations in Texas and Michigan have been cited for improper bread storage that violates basic food safety standards. The drive-through pressure makes everything worse. Former employees report that during morning rush hours, temperature checks are routinely skipped to maintain McDonald's famous speed standards. When you're ordering through that speaker, the person assembling your breakfast sandwich might be prioritizing your wait time over whether your sausage has been heated to safe temperatures. McDonald's industrialized approach pales compared to the ingredient mysteries at our next breakfast destination. Dunkin' built its reputation on freshly made donuts, but that glazed paradise you're craving was actually frozen solid 3 days ago in a factory hundreds of miles away. Every single donut, muffin, and croissant arrives at Dunkin' locations in frozen blocks, then gets thawed and reheated in convection ovens that struggle to recreate the texture of genuine, fresh baking. Former employees from Massachusetts to California have confirmed that fresh baked daily really means defrosted and warmed up daily. The coffee situation might be even more concerning. Equipment maintenance logs from 2024 show that Dunkin's coffee machines are cleaned far less frequently than corporate standards require, with some locations going over 2 weeks between deep cleanings. That creates perfect breeding conditions for bacteria and mold in the water lines and brewing chambers. A food safety inspection in Connecticut found black slime buildup in multiple coffee dispensers that had been serving customers for months. Breakfast sandwiches follow the same frozen formula. Each component, the egg patty, sausage, cheese, and bread, arrives individually frozen and gets assembled like a jigsaw puzzle of processed breakfast parts. Quality control documents leaked in 2023 revealed that some locations were instructed to sell day-old pastries by simply rotating display cases and removing date stickers. Even worse, the pressure to maintain Dunkin's speed standards means employees often skip temperature checks that ensure your breakfast sandwich reaches safe internal temperatures. When you order that bacon, egg, and cheese, you might be getting a lukewarm science experiment instead of a properly heated meal. Dunkin's frozen approach seems questionable, but waffle specialists have their own concerning practices. Waffle House's open kitchen might seem transparent, but it actually reveals more problems than it hides. Those golden waffles that look homemade are mixed from industrial batter containing artificial vanilla flavoring, synthetic butter extract, and enough preservatives to keep the mix stable for weeks in restaurant storage. Former cooks from Georgia and Alabama have confirmed that the home-style taste comes from laboratory-created flavor compounds, not grandma's secret recipe. The meat situation gets worse when you realize why everything tastes so crispy. Bacon and sausage are routinely overcooked to mask quality issues with lower-grade meat products that arrive frozen in bulk packaging. A 2024 supplier investigation found that Waffle House's breakfast meats contain significantly higher fat content and filler ingredients compared to premium restaurant chains, requiring aggressive cooking methods to achieve acceptable texture and flavor. Those iconic flat-top grills tell their own story. Health inspection reports from over 60 Waffle House locations show recurring violations for buildup of grease and food particles that accumulate between shifts. One inspector in Tennessee documented grill surfaces with carbonized residue that hadn't been properly scraped in over 48 hours of continuous cooking. The real problem is inconsistency. Staff training varies dramatically between franchise locations, with some new employees receiving less than 8 hours of food safety instruction before handling breakfast for hundreds of customers daily. Corporate training documents from 2023 revealed that 40% of Waffle House locations operate with undertrained staff during peak morning hours, leading to temperature violations and cross-contamination risks. Waffle House's consistency issues seem minor compared to the corporate deception at our next chain. Cracker Barrel's rustic charm and country store atmosphere create the perfect illusion of home-style cooking, but those buttermilk biscuits warming in the display case arrive frozen from a commercial bakery facility over 200 miles away. Former kitchen staff across Tennessee and Kentucky have revealed that the fresh-baked biscuits are simply thawed in convection ovens and brushed with artificial butter flavoring to create that golden, just out-of-the-oven appearance you're paying premium prices for. The sausage gravy that customers rave about starts as a powder mix containing modified cornstarch, artificial thickeners, and enough sodium to exceed daily recommended limits in a single serving. Kitchen training videos leaked in 2023 showed employees mixing these industrial packets with water and milk substitute, not the slow-simmered, flour-based gravy that Cracker Barrel's marketing suggests. Even worse is the country ham, a signature item that contains over 2,000 milligrams of sodium per serving, plus chemical preservatives like sodium nitrite and potassium sorbate that extend shelf life but raise health concerns. A nutritional analysis from 2024 found that Cracker Barrel's cured meats contain 3 times more preservatives than comparable products at upscale breakfast restaurants. The kitchen operations tell the real story. Leaked employee handbooks reveal that over 60% of breakfast items are pre-cooked, vacuum-sealed, and reheated in commercial microwaves rather than prepared fresh on traditional stovetops. That country breakfast platter you're enjoying was assembled more like a TV dinner than a farmhouse meal. Cracker Barrel's false advertising is troubling, but Buffett-style breakfast presents even greater health risks. Golden Corral's breakfast buffet turns every meal into a game of bacterial roulette, where dozens of strangers handle the same serving spoons while food sits exposed under heat lamps for hours beyond safe time limits. Temperature monitoring logs from 2024 show that scrambled eggs and breakfast meats routinely exceed the 4-hour danger zone at over 70% of Golden Corral locations, creating perfect breeding conditions for salmonella and other foodborne pathogens. The shared utensil system creates contamination nightmares that health inspectors struggle to control. Customers use the same serving spoons to scoop different foods, spreading bacteria from raw bacon grease to fresh fruit without any sanitization between uses. Former employees from Texas and North Carolina report that during busy weekend mornings, Buffett attendants can't keep up with replacing contaminated utensils, leaving the same spoons in place for entire service periods. Cross-contamination becomes inevitable when understaffed kitchens rush to refill empty trays. Health Department records from 2023 documented violations at 42 Golden Corral locations where raw and cooked foods were prepared on the same surfaces without proper cleaning protocols. One inspector in Florida found breakfast sausage being prepared directly next to raw eggs using the same cutting boards and prep tools. The weekend breakfast rush creates the worst conditions, with some locations serving over 800 customers between 7 and 11 a.m. using kitchen staff that's barely adequate for half that volume. When you're loading your plate at Golden Corral's breakfast bar, you're not just choosing your food, you're choosing your risk level. Golden Corral's buffet dangers seem obvious, but even upscale breakfast chains hide quality compromises. Bob Evans built its reputation on wholesome farm imagery and fresh from the farm promises. But those allegedly farm-fresh eggs come from the same industrial suppliers that service fast food chains across the Midwest. Procurement documents leaked in 2023 revealed that over 80% of Bob Evans locations receive eggs from massive commercial operations, housing tens of thousands of birds in confined facilities. Not the picturesque family farms featured in their marketing materials. The mashed potato deception runs even deeper. What Bob Evans advertises as homemade mashed potatoes actually starts as instant potato flakes mixed with artificial butter flavoring and industrial thickeners in restaurant prep areas. Former kitchen staff from Ohio and Pennsylvania have confirmed that these supposedly scratch-made sides take less than 10 minutes to prepare from powder, not the hours of peeling and mashing that customers expect from the premium prices they're paying. Even the breakfast meats hide cost-cutting secrets. Bob Evans sausage and bacon contains significant amounts of soy protein fillers and binding agents that stretch real meat content while maintaining familiar textures and flavors. A 2024 ingredient analysis found that some Bob Evans breakfast items contain up to 30% non-meat fillers, yet still market themselves as premium farm-style products. Employee training documents from multiple locations show disturbing pressure to serve questionable leftover items rather than waste food costs. Workers report being instructed to reheat day-old pancakes, reuse open biscuit dough, and serve breakfast meats that exceeded safe holding temperatures during overnight storage. Bob Evans proves that marketing images rarely match reality, and our final chain demonstrates this perfectly. Panera Bread markets itself as the clean eating champion of fast casual dining, but their breakfast menu tells a different story when you examine the fine print. Those wholesome-looking breakfast pastries contain calcium propionate, sodium stearoyl lactylate, and other chemical preservatives that directly contradict Panera's "no artificial additives" promise plastered across their marketing materials. A 2024 ingredient audit found that over 40% of Panera's breakfast items contain additives that the company publicly claims to avoid. The egg soufflés that seem freshly made in-house actually arrive frozen from centralized production facilities and get reheated in convection ovens designed to mask their processed origins. Former employees from Illinois and Virginia have confirmed that these signature breakfast items spend weeks in freezer storage before reaching your plate. Despite Panera's emphasis on fresh, made-to-order preparation, even the coffee disappoints when you look beyond the premium pricing. Equipment maintenance logs from 2023 show inconsistent cleaning schedules across franchise locations, with some coffee machines going over 10 days between deep sanitizations. That creates bitter flavors from bacterial buildup and residue accumulation that no amount of expensive beans can overcome. The bread situation might be most misleading of all. Panera's fresh-baked daily bagels and pastries are often day-old items from previous shifts, simply reheated and displayed as new inventory to avoid waste costs. Quality control documents leaked from corporate training sessions showed employees being instructed to rotate older items to front positions and remove date markings that might alert customers to actual baking times. Even chains promoting health-conscious options cut corners where customers can't see, proving that breakfast safety requires vigilance, regardless of restaurant reputation.